Okay, so we have War 4 of Season 47 starting here, and I take LDS to this war, and I had some awful memories of using LDS in War from last season. I took her for, I think, 2 fights last season, and one of them was a death where I died in the first 12 seconds of the fight against a Sauron who I will be fighting later in this war, so I was not very motivated to take her to take 3 fights this war, but I'm gonna do my best to have some success with her, unlike what I've been able to do previously. But we're gonna start off with this Magneto on node 8. This is pretty much a nothing fight as long as I get my tactic intercept and all that stuff. Magneto's SP1 is pretty easy to intercept, so I don't necessarily have to have the taunt every time, but I would like it just to get him to throw specials more when I'm ready for them. And just because that honestly is really the only reason. Anyway, so we're gonna throw my SP2. I should have just thrown it because it was unblockable, and I just kind of forgot about that. But we get the refresh with the SP2 there, and now we just want to spam SP1s. We have that taunt up again, so we can start spamming our SP1s, and we have an extended torment because we're in ferocity now, which is really nice. We do have to deal with not crit me with the best shot. It's no hit mercy or something that gives him that cruelty whenever we knock him down, and that does make getting hit by an SP1 much more risky, but we didn't get hit by an SP1, so who cares. Alright, so next up, Absman on node 17. I almost was assigned negative for this fight, but then I ended up needing Chavez for a fight later that we were going to send it back up to, but changed our minds. So I would have been taking this with negative, but I was like, you know what, Tigra does this really easily as well, so it's not really that big a deal. Honestly, I'd almost rather do this fight with Tigra because we have a lot more control on that Fury, and the way this works is that the more buffs the defender has, the more ability accuracy they reduce on you, or defensive ability accuracy specifically. And I don't really have to parry or use any defensive ability accuracy with Tigra, but with negative I do, because I need to ramp by blocking, and then I have to evade. So it's much safer if you use Tigra there, ironically. Maybe not against Abs, but against the nodes it is. So, you know, we made a pretty quick work of that fight anyway, so it was pretty nice. Next up, we have a Weapon X on node 26. This is honestly a joke fight. Weapon X isn't even tactic, and once we push him into his berserk, if we have the heal block up, he won't go unstoppable, he won't go unblockable, he's basically shut down. He will be stun immune, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to go for many parries in this fight to begin with. We are going to get the taunt up, make him throw special attacks more frequently, which is really nice because it gives us more openings, and they're obviously really easy to counter, and we can use his aggressiveness to our advantage with our intercepts as well. We go for our SP1s, stack a bunch more ruptures, and they last a lot longer, and yeah, this Weapon X is very much so dead, especially with that relic at the end there. So that is node 26 Weapon X, absolutely demolished. Okay, now node 35 Gorr. I died to this fight last war. Really badly too, and we're gonna take it again. My cat's making a lot of noise, I apologize for that. We go for the first parry and we already get bled, and like, oh, that's a fantastic start. But the way you want to do this fight is just try to not block too much, and if you get hit, you're basically dead, because if he uses a second medium, you're gonna get those debuffs on you. But the good thing about Chavez here is you can power control this idiot, so once we get all of our dimensions up, it's not like he's going to SP2 or anything. However, the problem in this fight is that if he doesn't have special ones, then that means that I have to go for blind intercepts. And I messed one up. And just like last war, literally just like last war, I'm about to die to his debuffs once again. So I throw the relic, we're ticking down, we get a heavy crit to save my life. I did not deserve that. That's almost the second time I died to that fight. And so it struck me right after nearly dying to it, which I wish it struck me before what I need to do to make this fight work. And it's going to be a bit longer segment on this fight specifically. I want to talk about how I can fix the issue. Firstly, the problem is I'm going for blind intercepts because I don't want to block, and I'm just trying to get an opening, which is hard because I'm really nervous because if he touches me, I'm dead. So what I need to be doing is using only 2 negative zones, because 3 is too much power control. I want to be baiting those SP1s. I want to be countering special attacks instead of intercepting. Because, you know, eating a special attack, that's not that big a deal, but getting hit by a double medium, that is going to kill me. And the second way I can make that fight work is that I tested the matchup after. I can ricochet intercept, which I'm not exactly sure if it's a coined term or anything, but a ricochet intercept is where you hit their block with your medium, you dash back, they dash into you at the same time, then you hit them with a light attack. Basically, you punch their block, dash back, light attack, that counts as an intercept. That gives me openings to stay aggressive. It doesn't work for every champion, but for specifically Chavez versus Gorr, it does work. It is something you do want to test the matchup ahead of time to make sure that the spacing, the timing of the light attack is on point. And for Chavez versus Gorr, it does. So if I run into that fight in a future war, I know that I can ricochet intercept, and I know that I need to only stack 2 negative zones to make sure I don't power control him too much and make him have less special ones to throw at me to give me more openings. So that being said, this is Node 37 thing. This has got to be like at least the 10th time I've fought this over the course of Sturdy and Crush 2.0. Yeah, he's just dead. This is a joke fight. I've never even come close to dying in that fight before. It's just things SP1 dex is really easy. Things SP2 dex is really easy. As long as you know what you're doing, you can prevent the unstoppable with the neutralize. You can prevent the regen with the neutralize. Joke fight. Anyway, alright, so we have LDS versus Node 42 Sauron. Again, LDS, never had success with her in war. Last season specifically was really bad. But I died to Sauron last season, so here I'm like, okay, I know I can do this. Sauron isn't as hard as he was last season for me. I just need to keep that taunt up. I just need to get the SP1 dexes on point, which I do have practice with, so I'm not too worried about the SP1 dexes. I need to make sure that when he throws a special, I'm totally ready for it and not doing something stupid. And we want to spam SP1s in this fight, because by spamming SP1s, that means we're knocking him down most often. We don't really want to go for a heavy attack. Well, maybe you could go for a heavy attack. I just didn't. The notes from my officer were to spam SP1, so that's exactly what I did. I probably could have gone for some heavy attacks, but it didn't really matter. We lost our ferocity, that's okay. I know there's a way where you can punish Sauron's medium with your light attack, but I didn't go for that risky play. I didn't test it beforehand to practice it by myself. I know it's something you can do, it's just something I don't have experience with, so I didn't go for that kind of intercept. I just tried to find openings elsewhere, and stand-up intercepts I do try to do with LDS sometimes. This is going to be an SP1 without the taunt, but I got the dex, so it's okay. And yeah, so this Sauron's basically dead. We do have to deal with the protection coming back, but once it falls off, I think we're just going to go for a relic. No, we're not. We should have just gone for a relic to close it out. But, okay. 3 LDS fights, 3 solos. Absolutely will take it. Especially after, again, I'm bringing this up again, but I had a terrible time with her last season. Sound like a broken record, but either way. Speaking of a broken record, okay, so this is Onslaught on Node 49. 3rd time I've taken this in 4 wars. Last war, it was a little sketchy, but this war, we're going to see how it goes. So I'm going to power start 1 as usual. This makes Tigra nuke him a lot faster. It's really nice. But either way, we're going to go for the SP2. It's already going to bring him down to 56%-ish. We just go for the heavy counters. He, for some reason, has no intention of throwing a heavy attack. Either way, we're going to go for our second SP2. And yeah, he's absolutely destroyed. Like, I don't even know why I tried to hide it at the start. No, that fight was a joke. As long as he doesn't throw his special attacks, we're absolutely chilling with that fight. And even if he does, I am decent at evading its SP1 while rooted. I've never messed it up before, but I'm not perfect at the dexes. Anyway, we lost the war. It was by a large margin. Earlier this morning, the war was a lot closer, but once they finished the map and we saw, oh, well, it's over. We kind of gave a lot of deaths because we didn't use items and stuff, but I used items to finish my fights, but either way, yeah, we lost by a large margin, but we're 2-2 now. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Anyway, thank you so much for watching that video. If you enjoyed, hit like, hit subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you in the next one.